Shalom, everyone. I want to compliment you all on sitting as far back as you possibly can. You did that very, very well. But fortunately, I have a microphone, so you'll hear my voice. And fortunately, you have nice voices too, and so I'll be able to hear you. We're just going to pull ourselves together. And by that, I don't mean like that, but just our community pull it together with a song without words. So it might seem hard to follow it at first, but I think you'll get it. And as soon as you have it, just keep singing. It starts like this. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Again, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. That sounds like it's going somewhere, right? Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. Okay, this is the second part. Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 ya da da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. So what's nice about a song without words is that you don't have to know a word of Hebrew, you don't have to know a word of English, you don't have to know a word of Chinese. You just have to just speak and sing and try to follow the melody and just don't resist me. Just follow, okay? Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 ya da da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 So, there's a certain pleasure about hearing our voices just singing together, right? Kind of imagine maybe if we can all sing together and sound good in harmony or even not in harmony, then we get that feeling of kind of being connected to other people and being able to each contribute a little bit to something bigger than ourselves. And so that's what we want to do is we pray a little bit. So let's do it again. So we can now open our prayer books. For those of you who are online with us, we're using the family prayer book that we use here at CBI. We've got a room full of 5th and 6th graders and their parents and others. So we're going to use this prayer book, but hopefully you'll be able to sing along with us and know the melodies and the words. So now we're going to put some words to our song. Hine Matov, we're singing how nice it is in the middle of the page to be together. Hine Matov Manai Sheverachim Gam Yachad Hine Matov Manai Sheverachim Gam Yachad Hine Matov Manai Sheverachim Gam Yachad Hine Matov Manai Sheberachim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim. Sheberachim gam yachad. And right above that, this beautiful prayer, Ma Yafeh Hayom. We used to sing this a lot at CBI. We haven't sung it in a while. And Hannah taught me today that we can sing this in two parts. That's something I've never done before. So let us try. Let's sing it the first time through. Make sure we all know it. And then we'll try to do two parts. It's called Ma Yafeh Hayom, which means what a beautiful day this is, and then Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. So Hannah's going to start out with her side of the room, and we're going to come in afterwards, and let's see if this really works, okay? Ready? Hang on. I didn't mean a solo. This whole side of the room is singing with her. Let's try it. Okay, you go on. We're going to start. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Okay, you keep going, so do we. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Indeed. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. So the candle lighting blessing is on page 4. So Hannah's going to light our candles tonight, and then we like to sing afterwards. We sing just Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Mevorach. Can you all say that word? Mevorach. Thank you. Let's do that again. Mevorach. And so you're hearing that word, Mevorach is Baruch. So we sing Shabbat Shalom. Mevorach means have a blessed Shabbat. Ready? Okay, let's do this, and it's also in two parts. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Umevorach, Shabbat Shalom, Umevorach, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat guess what? Anybody want to guess? We can do this in two parts too. This room, this side starts. George is here now to help boost the song power, and then we'll follow. So you guys start. Shabbat Shalom, 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 Umevorach, Shabbat Shalom, Umevorach. Great, take a deep breath. So now that the candles are lit, we're going to turn to page 7. And, there are some blessings there. Traditionally, when in many families, when we light the Shabbat candles on Friday night, and before we come to the table and make the Kiddush and the Motzi, it's a custom to bless one's children. So, since we have a lot of parents and children here today, I guess I want to ask everyone to rise, to stand. It's a little hard to bless somebody when you're just putting your hand on them like this, but look at your child, or look at your children, and so that you don't have to have, I'll tell you what, so you don't have to have your prayer book in your hand. I want your hands to be on the head of your children, and we'll just do the traditional blessings for a son or for a daughter, and you just repeat after me. We'll say, if you're speaking to a son, we say, may God make you like Ephraim and Menashe. And to a daughter, we would say, may God make you like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. And then for everyone, we all say these words, may God bless you and keep you. May God's light and grace be with you. May God's goodness smile upon you and fill you with peace. And not just take one moment in the silence to feel that blessing. And you can seal it with a hug or with a kiss. Beautiful. All right, there we go. So we'll go to the page before. Shalom Aleichem. Some families sing this around the table. Raise your hand if you sang this around the table in your home. Anybody growing up, I sang it sometimes, not all the time. Wasn't always like that, but so, Shalom Aleichem just means welcome. Actually, you may be surprised, but one of the first things that shows up on my phone in the morning after I check the time and the temperature and the alarm and the snooze button is the Yiddish word of the day. Anybody ever seen that from the Forward magazine? So there's a Yiddish word of the day podcast. And I've learned a lot of Yiddish that way, and I've learned a lot of nice expressions that way. And the person who does that her name is Rochel Schechter. She's the editor of the Forwards, not the forward that we read in English, but the Yiddish language, Forwards. And she begins every podcast with Shalom Aleichem. Try that. Shalom Aleichem, right. And that's how you say hello or welcome in Yiddish. But as Michael Wex pointed out, Yiddish may be the only language in which even the way that you say hello to one another has an implied criticism. Because when you say to somebody in Yiddish, Shalom Aleichem, the proper answer is Aleichem Shalom. Try that. Aleichem Shalom. So I'm going to say to you, Shalom Aleichem, and you say, you see what I mean? So these words in the Hebrew, Shalom Aleichem, of course, we speak it in Yiddish, but they're Hebrew words. They mean peace unto you. And the first verse says, peace unto you, O special angels. Meaning, I look up, I notice, I see that you're here. The next verse begins with the word Boachem Leshalom, which means enter in peace. Come on in, I invite you into my life, into my home. The third verse says, Barchuni Leshalom. We ask of this special Sabbath presence, just as we just blessed our children, to bless us with peace. And then the last verse, Tzedchem Leshalom. Go forth on your way. And in a way, that's what we do with every breath, if you think about it. It's like, okay, I notice this breath. I invite the breath in. I wait a moment to be blessed, and I let the breath go out. So why don't we just try that? Breathe a little bit, and just welcome each breath into the body. Notice the breath as it comes in. Welcome it into the body. Hold it for just a second of blessing. And then freely and gratefully, just let it go back into the world. And just enjoy the peace and the quiet of the silence, except for my twanging. Now that our bodies are filled with a little peace, we can open our vocal cords and sing about peace and welcome the peace of the Sabbath into the room. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Up here gets the first line by herself. Baruch Hu et Adonai. She calls out to you, and then everybody else answers back. And ready? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? la 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 la. You may be seated. And we'll read on page 11 just the words there in the English. Creator of sunrise and sunset, you turn the day into night and the night into morning,
dividing the day from the night,
so no time is like another. 1,000 starlights write your name in the heavens. Source of life, be with us in the dark, now and always. Blessed are you, Adonai, Creator, who brings in the evening. So, we want to kind of make a connection between the prayer and what we see out there in the world. What am I going to see if I go outside tonight? What's in the sky? Does anybody know? Well, there's clouds, so we might not see too much. But what did you see last night in the sky? Did anybody look at the sky last night? You saw the full moon? Yeah, the full moon was on Tuesday already. And how about the planets? Did anybody notice any planets? Nobody. Okay, Jewish people, you need to look at the skies, okay? You need to watch the moon. Every night it's going to grow larger, every day it's going to grow smaller, and then it's going to be the new moon, it's going to be the new month. And it's going to be the month of Kislev, which is the month of Hanukkah, so we want to know how many days are left. But if you go out tomorrow night when it's not cloudy, you'll see leading the moon is Jupiter. Very, very bright white star. And following, about halfway across the sky, there's a very, very bright red star, and that is Mars. So, before there were calendars, right? I mean, today, thank goodness we have funeral homes, and the funeral homes give us Jewish calendars. I don't know what we did before funeral homes, but before that, the only way to know when the month was beginning or was ending was to watch the stars and to watch the sky, and especially to watch the moon. And so, it's natural that Jewish people who looked up every night to the moon would think this is a miraculous thing, that every day the moon is in a different place, and it grows, and it gets smaller, and the stars move around, and that's what this prayer was about. It was just about recognizing that one way that we understand what God is and who God is and what God does is by kind of keeping this world in a kind of balance and a kind of order. So let's turn to then, what we're going to do now is go to our song sheet. If you came in here before there was an usher, I invite you to grab your song sheet. If you don't have one, we should have them they should be on the music stand right outside the door. Did everybody get one of those? Hannah and I were talking about this service, and we realized that, we haven't really had a family service in a long time together. We had a couple of years of COVID, and even some of the prayers that our young people do every Wednesday night, they don't have the whole prayer in this young prayer book. So tonight we thought we would just teach this one prayer, not just to the children, but to the adults as well, and teach a melody that we like to sing here on Friday nights. And the prayer is called Ahavat Olam. And so what it means, Ahava means love. Olam means like forever, everlasting. And so this is a prayer after we talked about thanking God for God's role in keeping the universe in spin in an orderly manner. Then we have this prayer about love and about Torah, right? And about commandments and instruction. So let's just read it in the English together. Everlasting love, you have offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot. Therefore, Adonai, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will have your laws and your commandments in our hearts. We praise you, Adonai, who loves the people Israel. So, it's kind of a funny thing in Judaism. If you'd walk out to people on the street and say, there's a law, and there's judgment, there's judges, and then there's love. You would say, well, those are two very different things. Right? They don't really belong together in the same sentence. But in the Jewish tradition, law and love go together. And especially when we're here in our families, I'm speaking now for the parents, but the children can verify what I want to say. When our parents, tell us what they want us to do and tell us how we need to behave and set down rules and laws for us, it's not to punish us, but it's to encourage us. It's to help us to live in a better way. We know that when we're young, we don't always understand everything from ourselves, and we need, adults to tell us what to do. But they're not telling us to do because they want to boss us around, telling us what to do because they love us and they want us to live good in the world. And I think all of us had that experience because, believe it or not, everybody here was a child once. And so that's the idea. That Torah, which is just a big catchword for like all the commandments and all the laws and all the teachings that Judaism has to offer us, is a sign of love that we can learn and behave and live in the way that we need to. So here's how this song goes. I'm going to teach a melody that we do. I'll do it line by line, and then we'll try to learn it together. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael. Let's try that. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael. Next line. Amcha ahavta Amcha Motanu limadeta. Whoops. I missed those words. Let's do it from the beginning. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta. We repeat that. Amcha ahavta. Now same melody, different words. Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta. Great, let's do that from the beginning. Sing sounded pretty good. Let's do it again. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Otanu limadeta. Good. Second part goes like this. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochveinu. Okay, let's try that. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochveinu uvkumeinu nasiach bechukecha uvkumeinu nasiach bechukecha. All right. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochveinu uvkumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratecha. Try that. V'nismach b'divrei toratecha u'b'mitzvot. A lot of syllables in this word. U'b'mitzvotecha. Try that. U'b'mitzvotecha. Or u'v'mitzvotecha. U'v'mitzvotecha. You can get it down to 1, 2, 3, 4 syllables. You better. U'v'mitzvotecha.
U'v'mitzvotecha
Leolam.
Leolam
Va'ed.
Va'ed
U'v'mitzvotecha leolam va'ed. Let's take it from Al Kain. Al Kain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words down. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochveinu uvkumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratecha uv'mitzvotecha leolam va'ed. Next, ki hem chayeinu. Try that. Ki hem chayeinu. Same melody, almost. Be'orech yameinu. Not even close. Be'orech yameinu. Uvahem negei omam Yomam Balayla. Next. Be'ahavatcha al tasir. Try that. Be'ahavatcha al tasir. Next. Mimenu le'olamim. Mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. I think we could do that from the beginning, okay? How many people think they could do that? Well, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand. I'll just ask you to sing, and then we'll know the answer. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Otanu limadeta. Second part. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shofbein uvkumenu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratecha ub'mitzvotecha leolam va'ed ki hem hayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem nege yomam balayla nege yomam balayla ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Beautiful. Let's go back to our prayer book and we continue without stopping on page 16. I want to invite up the fifth graders to come forward and stand in front of the bima with your prayer books, if you want to lead us in the Shema. Well, I'll tell you what, anybody in whatever grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 2nd grade, 5th grade, who wants to come and help us lead the Shema and the V'ahavta, we invite you to come forward now. Can I get a few volunteers? Are you coming down from upstairs? We'll wait for you. Great. And you have your prayer book if you need it, right? Have your prayer book, right? And you'll be able to lead us in the Shema and the V'ahavta, I hope. Any more coming up? We're on page 14. We're on page 16. Okay. Okay. Are we ready? Page 16. If you need your prayer book, go ahead and bring it up here. This gives us all a chance to prepare. You can come up. All right. Are we ready? Okay. Are we ready? One, two, three. Shema Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Sing it very quietly, okay? Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinanta ham levanecha v'dibarta bam בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. Now in just a moment we're going to read it together in the English on page 17. And if you've been coming to CBI for many, many years, or even once or twice, you'll notice that I will never say the Shema and the V'ahavta without reading the English translation. And the reason is that in the Talmud there's a discussion among the rabbis about how the Shema must be said. And one of the rabbis says, just the way it's written in the Torah, meaning in Hebrew. But the other one says, Bechol lashon, in every language, she'ata shomea, meaning in every language that you understand, because Shema can mean to listen, but also mean to understand. So from the very beginning, there has been a battle between English, not English, but the vernacular and Hebrew. Some say that the prayers need to be in Hebrew because that's the common language that keeps us together. Other rabbis say, especially a prayer that begins with the word Shema, which means understand, needs to be in a language that you understand. So let's read it in a language that we understand on page 17 together. You guys can help us lead. Love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all that you are. Learn Torah, live Torah, with words from the heart, with words from the soul, with all the words you speak. Talk of God, God the One, you and I, everyone connected. Think about this when you sit and stand, when you walk and talk, inside, outside, here and everywhere.
Let godly words fill your house and to live in you.
Great. Now, if the class can stay up here, we'll turn to page 22. And we'll do the Mi Chamocha. I was around one of these classes. How does the Mi Chamocha that you guys wanted me to do start? How does it start? Oh, okay. It goes like this. Okay. Do we all find page 22? Will you help us lead this the way we do it on Wednesday nights? Mi Chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Torah tehilot, osef eleh, Torah tehilot, osef. We jump down 4 lines. Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. What do you do? Ayrai yadadai, ayrai yadadai, ayrai yadadai, ayrai yadadai. Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. Now we can sing the verse to the same melody in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines down. Malchutecha ra'u v'anecha, okei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, tzei anu ve'amru. Repeat that. Tzei anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Norah tehilot, osef eleh, Norah tehilot. how this ends. I think it ends on a C chord. Like that. Thank you, everyone. The only ones who will keep up here or invite up here is anyone who can help us lead. Oh, I'm sorry. We can all sit down now. Sorry. You may go back to your seats, and thank you for leading us. Page 23. Page 23 at the bottom. At the bottom, it's a prayer called Hashkivenu, and it's a prayer we do only at night. And we end it with these words at the bottom of the page, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines from the bottom. And we sing Baruch Atah Adonai, we praise you Adonai. You spread your sukkah of peace over us, over all of Israel, and over Jerusalem. And here's how that goes. Sing it with me. Baruch Atah Adonai, haporeh sukkah shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'kol amo Yisrael. Last line. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim. Shalom. Shalom. From the beginning. Baruch Atah Adonai, haporeh sukkah shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. We'll do that phrase again. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Okay. So on page 26, Hannah's going to lead us in the Ve-Sham-Ru. Page 26. This is something everybody knows, the traditional melody.
Oh, sorry.
Ve-Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת דורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת דורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. So before we do the Amidah, which is beginning on the next page, I want to invite you to turn over the piece of paper that you have, that we just learned that prayer from. And, Hannah and I thought we would use this opportunity as a chance to teach a little bit about the Shabbat service, or about actually almost any Jewish worship service, So you have two sort of, well, you have a cartoon in the middle of the page, and then you have a couple of building blocks on the bottom. And I want you to see that in the cartoon, you kind of have a version of what we've already done, some part of it, and then what we're about to do. So on the left-hand side, the first thing you see, what is that person doing? Somebody tell me. It says warm up. What do you think she's doing? She's stretching. Yeah, how is she stretching?
It's a weird stretch. It's like not very
Hannah's going to
comfortable.
try and do that. Is anybody able to do that? Can you stand up and
Do
do
the
that
other
what
way,
that
too.
person's doing? Anybody here?
I don't know
Not
what
bad.
muscles it's stretching, but
Not
it
bad.
doesn't feel very good.
What stretches do you do before you exercise? Oh, up there. You've done a very good job. Yeah. Can anybody show me another kind of stretch that you do, like before you run or before you work out or before you play? Anybody want to show me a warm up? Yeah, go ahead. What do you do before you work out? Yes.
We got some vendors up there in the
We
balcony.
have some benders. Okay, you can't see what they're doing up there in the top, but they're going like this, right? And like this. I see you. We see you up there. Yeah. So, before you exercise, before you do anything, you got to warm up. What's going to happen if you go out and do a run before you warm up?
Probably won't feel very good afterwards.
What's going to happen? Not going to feel good, right? So you need to stretch and warm up. And a prayer service is the same way, right? We can't just go from, parking the car and getting here on time and rushing and all the rest of it right into prayer. So you need a little time to kind of warm up. So this morning we warmed up, this evening we warmed up a lot. We sang Hine Tov. We sang a song without words. We did Maya Fehayom in 2 parts. We lit the candles, all of that was a warm up. Until we got to Am I Awake, which is the beginning of the second part called, it says Shema and her brachot. It's the prayers that surround the Shema, 2 in the front and 2 behind. What is that person doing? If anybody can interpret that cartoon for me. But what are they doing? What do you think? What do you say? Cheering a team on. Okay, what part of it looks to you like cheering a team on? Oh, a glove on her hand pointing up like this? That's a good guess. Yes. Now, don't give me the wrong answer here. What does this mean? Don't say QAnon. Because it is, right? Am I right about that? Am I right? Come on, am I the only person who's never seen this at a rally? This is the sign. Am I right? Am I right? George confirms. They have taken our sign, which is that God is one. God is one. And if you go to a rally with some people, very often they will. I can't believe that nobody knows this. This is the sign.
I don't make a point of going to those kinds of rallies.
Well, I don't either, but I've seen him on television. Apparently, right? Can you say more? Do you know what it's about? Huh? What is it? What do they say? Where we go one? Where we go one, we go all. That is the rallying cry of the unmentionable, which I already mentioned. So that's what that sign. That's what that sign means. But that's not what this is about. Right? I think this person is pointing to the heavens, and what's the other hand doing? Looks to me like pointing down, right? And what do you think what do you think he's wearing, that guy? Looks like one of these. Looks like a talit, right? Which is why it's a little hard for him to be organized. But that second part of the service that we just did, right, is, and we do it in every service, in the morning and in the evening, whenever we pray, we have the Shema Yisrael in the service. And it's always preceded, before the Shema, we always say a blessing about God as creator, and then another one about God as the source of love and Torah. And then we follow it with Michamocha, with a prayer about God as the power that makes for freedom in the world. So that's a whole separate section, and every time the Jews get together for prayer, we're gonna pray with that. And then the third part is called Amidah. Now tell me what's going on in that picture. Anybody, can you interpret that picture for me? Yeah? No? I don't know. Is she I really don't know. But the important thing is that she's raised up on a pillar or something, and you would have to like be standing, right? She's not sitting on the pillar; she's standing on the pillar, and the Amidah is that standing part of the service. Um, Looks like a harp, right? I don't know what else it is, but this is the part of the service where sometimes we do it together, sometimes we do it privately, but it's in some ways, it's the time that we are allowed to leave the prayer book behind and speak the words that are on our heart, right? Which is what actually, if you look on page 29, we always begin the Amidah with those words, Adonai Sifatai Tiftach, open my lips, Adonai, dear one, and let my mouth praise you. Meaning, we want to try to find the words of prayer, even the ones that are not in the prayer book, the ones that are, and that we ask for help in trying to understand what it is that we want, what it is that we're praying for, what it is that we need, what it is that we wish for other people. So that's the Amidah. So we're going to do that now, okay? And if there are any sixth graders who want to lead us at the beginning of the Amidah, I know there's a few because I was at the class the other day. You can come forward. The Amidah is actually at the back of our book. If you open the very back of the book, the first two blessings of the Amidah are on the back pages of the book. So the first one is on the page on the right-hand side. The second one is on the left-hand side. And we invite you all to rise.
And when we get to the Giverot, the one on the left side, we are on the winter blessing. So when we get there, we'll say the winter line.
So our other sixth graders can come over here. And I'm going to start with those words, that I just said, Adonai Sifatai Tiftach, which you don't have to turn the page. We'll just do them, and then they will lead us in the Amidah. Adonai Sifatai Tiftach. ופי אגיד תהילתך, אדוני שפתי תפתח, ופי אגיד תהילתך, Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare. Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ברופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו Mi chamocha bal gevurot, umidam elach, melech meimid umechaye, umatzmiach ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. So we continue privately until we come to page 30. Just take a few moments for private prayer. So when we finish, we may be seated. We sing together on page 30. We'll say shalom. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Oseh shalom bimroma, Yaseh shalom aleinu. ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, אמרו אמן. יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה לה לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה. Oseh shalom bimroma, Yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. So going back to that page again with the cartoon, we have a prayer for healing that I want to teach. It just has a couple of words. When we finish praying for ourselves, we sort of use the opportunity of having kind of filled the room with words of prayer, and then we offer some prayers of healing for other people who we know, or even for people we don't know, who are in need of healing. So what I think I'd like to do is just pass my hand across the congregation, and if you have the name of a person that you want to speak out loud or speak in your heart for whom we might pray for their healing, please do that when I come to you. So the words we're going to sing are at the top of the page. First line is Elna Rafana La. Let's try that. Elna Rafana La. That means, please God, heal her. And then we'll sing Elna Rafana Lo. Try that. Elna Rafana Lo. Please God, heal him. And then Elna Rafana. Well, let's sing Elna Rafa Lanu. Let's skip the na. Elna Rafa Lanu, which means, please God, heal us. So taking all those people into our hearts, and really everybody else who is in need of healing in this world, never know when a prayer can help. Helps us at least. El Narefanala, 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 El Narefanalo, 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 El Narefalanu, El Narefalanu, El Narefalanu, El Narefalanu, El Narefalanu, El Narefalanu, El Narefalanu. So going back to our cartoon, after the Amidah, if this were tomorrow morning, if it was Shabbat morning, after all those prayers that we've done, then when everything is really kind of open, right? We've spoken words, we've had time for silence, we've had a warm up and time for prayer, then you can see that on Shabbat, or at least Shabbat morning, we would read the Torah. Not quite sure what that picture is about, if anybody can help me with it. Maybe they're carrying, I can't, looks to me like they're carrying a lion, but that can't be right.
Looks like a beaver, but I'm sure that's not right.
An ark, who said that? Yeah, an ark. Maybe it's an ark, right? If they're carrying an ark, then the Torah would be in the ark. And after all, back in the old days, a Torah wasn't necessarily fixed in the wall. An ark also means, an ark. What's the English word for it? For something that you can carry something in? What?
Vessel?
A vessel of some kind, but I'm missing the word really. What do you, would you call it an ark if you put your clothes in it and carried it around?
Like a suitcase?
Like a suitcase?
A trunk?
A chest. A chest, actually, in Hebrew and Aron is a chest. That's the word. So, like a chest. And the Torah used to be, sometimes was portable. It wasn't always sitting in the synagogue, and people would come into a place of worship with the Torah in the ark, and it was a portico, and you would take it in and out, or you could take it to a different place, or you could bring it to the marketplace on Mondays and Thursdays when we would read Torah. So Torah was not only read in the synagogue, but also in the market. And of course, Monday and Thursday are market days. Of course, right? Not here, but yes. Every Muntik and Donnerstag, did your parents ever say that to you? Every Monday and Thursday, right? So we would read the Torah, and then we're coming to what's called the finale. So what is that a picture of? What do you think? The finale is how we're going to end the service with a couple of prayers. What's that finale? Yeah, holding up the world. I don't know why exactly that's the picture, but at the end of our service, like right now, pretty soon, we'll do Aleinu. And Aleinu is a prayer that we also do at the end of every prayer service, morning, afternoon, evening, Shabbat, not Shabbat. And it's sort of looking towards the future, right? It ends with those words, on that day, God will be one, and God's name will be one. And when it means that God's name will be one, it will mean that all people will be united, if you will, in the worship of one God, or the belief that all people are united and that humanity is united. And we are a long way from that in our world today, but that's the hope. And that's the hope with which we close every service. So the other way to think about our order of service is below, as sort of begins with Kabbalat Shabbat in the bottom left corner. Then we kind of have a division, and then we come to the Shema and its blessings as if we're kind of going up a little bit. And then Vishamru, maybe we're up even higher in terms of our mood. And then the Amidah is like that sort of pinnacle of the service. And then the rabbi bores you with a sermon that kind of brings you down a little bit. And then there's the closing prayers. And I think the way that those blocks kind of show us is that, we don't actually come back down to where we started. We always end on an experience of prayer in a different place than when we started. And hopefully it's a more elevated place than the place where we started. So before we go on, are there questions about this or about the order of the service or about the way a Jewish service is structured? Have you ever seen, is this something that doesn't fit into what you know, or any questions? Okay. So use this as a guide or as a reminder. And let's do the finale, which is on page, on the song sheet, on the back of the page. You have to go back to the other page. And what we're going to do is just the last couple words we're going to, just a verse or two from the Aleinu. V'hashevota will sing, El levavcha, meaning put these words on your heart. Ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, for God is surely God. And we do that as a call and response. And usually with Helena we rise. So let's rise for this too. So I'm going to call it out and you all are going to respond to me following Hannah. V'hashevota el levavecha Ki Adonai Hu ha'Elohim V'hashevota el levavecha Ki Adonai Hu ha'Elohim. Go on. V'ne'emar V'haya Adonai Lemelech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu Yiyeh Adonai echad U'shemo echad. May be seated. So the next to last prayer of our service is always the mourner's Kaddish, which is when we remember those whose anniversaries of their passing is on this week. So today in this congregation we remember Bessie Bolsky, Herbert Bonney, Georgiana French, Carrie Kaufman, Manuel Kerr, Nettie Langbaum, Peggy Lehman, Betty Levin, and Bernard Miller, Evelyn Penn, Adele Posner, Bevalon Cohen-Raffel, Lucille Schlecker, Carolyn Schwartz, Maurice Toplin, Donald Toplin, Edna Traub, Francesca Shapiro-Cassell, and Augusta Rubin. And we are still observing Shiva or Shloshim for Larry Foster, son of Rebecca Mayo, and for Roberta Kahn, sister of Judith Kahn. And we're sad to announce that Harriet Noble passed away yesterday, and her funeral is going to be on Tuesday. So anyone who is observing a period of mourning or who wishes to join the mourners is invited to rise now as we do the Mourner's Kaddish on page 36. Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah V'alma Divra Chiruteh V'yamlich Malchuteh B'chayechon U'v'yomechon U'v'chayei D'chol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala U'bizman Kari V'imru Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Leolam U'mei Almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kudusha, la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran v'alma v'imru, Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen. We ask that the source of peace send peace to those who mourn. We all say Amen. So before I call up all the classes to do Ein Keloheinu, because I know you have been practicing this, tonight is Veterans Day. So I wanted to offer a brief prayer for the veterans today in our community. I have a list of those people who I know, who our office knows are members of the Jewish community who are veterans. So I want to read their names, and then I want to offer them a blessing. And if I read these names and you know somebody, in your community, or if you are a family that has somebody who is a veteran that we don't have, please call our office and let us know on Monday. So Richard Bonney and Arthur Cohen, Bob Dwoskin, Bob Epstein, Frank Feigert, Patrick Fowler, Benjamin Hergel, Ivan Logan, Ben Moses, John Rosenberg, John Rothberg, Kent Schlussel, Joel Schwartzman, Nate Tricker, Eugene Shaitan, and in veterans of the Israeli service are Jay Epstein, Alina Hergel, and Gabby Laufer. So for all those veterans, I want to read the following prayer. God of compassion, God of dignity and strength, watch over the veterans of the United States in recognition of their loyal service to our nation. Bless them with wholeness and love. Shelter them, heal their wounds, comfort their hearts, and grant them peace. God of justice and truth, rock of our lives, bless our veterans, these men and women of courage and valor, with a deep and abiding understanding of our gratitude. Protect them and their families from loneliness and want. Grant them lives of joy and bounty. May their dedication and honor be remembered as a blessing from generation to generation. Baruch atah Adonai, blessed are you, protector and redeemer, our shield and our stronghold, we all say. Amen. So thank you all for being here tonight. We're going to do a closing hymn, I guess, and then we'll go into the next room. We'll make the Kiddush together in the Motzi, and if you see somebody in the room who you don't know or you don't know their name, just go up and say hi and introduce yourselves. And really thank you for coming and helping us to pray tonight. So I want to call up at least our sixth graders and maybe our fifth and fourth graders too, to do anybody who wants to help lead us in Ein Keloheinu, which is on page 90. And we don't have the last verse of Ein Keloheinu in this prayer book. The last verse, we thank God for, they're coming down, we thank the one before whom our ancestors burnt the holy incense. That verse has kind of been left out of our Ein Keloheinu. So nice to have the room full of our young people today. And are we all ready? We're on page 90. Page 90. You can help them, but they will lead us. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadoneinu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu. Page 90. Eloheinu, Michadoneinu, Michemalkeinu, Michamoshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adoneinu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu. Baruch Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshe. Atahu Elohein, Atahu Adonai, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you. Good Shabbos.